Richmond, Virginia. They just got done unloading our first stop, and I'm waiting on the paperwork. It's not a nice neighborhood here. Richmond's real nice. This part of town isn't. Anyway, turned out to be a beautiful day. 70 degrees at 7:17 a.m. local. Sun's coming up. Looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day. Good day to sit there, go back to the hotel room, and relax. They got a nice big open area out front. Get out the picnic chairs and maybe do a little something. We'll see. Spent several hours last night doing up the new intro, the new lead-in section. All right. Thank you. You have a good day. There's my paperwork. But anyway, spent several hours yesterday evening doing the new lead-in section, and I really think you would like it. Yesterday's video was the first one I put up with the new lead-in. I'm actually running behind. Was it yesterday or day before? Day before yesterday. I still got to do yesterday's. Oh Lord, now I'm running way behind on that because all the time I spent setting up the new laptop and everything. But that'll do it for the moment, and I'm going to head on to our next delivery. Oh, morning rush hour. Don't you just love it? Bumper to bumper traffic here. We're on 95 northbound. And this is a morning rush going toward downtown Richmond. I knew I was going to hit it. I just expected it to be on the way to the first delivery. But oh well, that's trucking for you. You end up in backups, whatever. But since today is such a casual day, I'm not going to let it bother me. I got all day long to get this done. But at least, like I said earlier, it's a beautiful day, so... No, it looks a little dark at the moment. That's because we're in the shadows. But we have a lovely blue sky. A little bit of light wispy clouds. It's gonna be gorgeous today. Usually I'm not up in the daytime like this, so I'm making the best of it. Loving it, loving it. Well, here's what's going on. This is what's making the backup so bad. Somebody had a boo-boo. Okay, you in a Volkswagen, when the guy in front of you hits the brakes, you hit the brakes. Ouch. Messed up his front end. Not good. And there's downtown Richmond. Richmond, Virginia. And all you people sitting here in the back up with me, you're going to be late. It's 8 o'clock. Not a bad looking skyline. Looks like they're building some more high-rise offices and stuff like that. Let's see, I see 1, 2. Let's see, I thought I Saw another one there. Three different construction areas downtown. Not bad. Looks like the city's growing. And here's what's causing that section to back up. Now it looks like we got clear running. Let's get back over one. And we can roll. Across the river here. Can't tell you what the name of the river is. I do not know this. The old train depot right here on the right. That's pretty. I like the clock tower. All the old stonework. Real nice. A lot of cars in the train parking lot down here. VCU Hospital on my left. You can't see it now. Huge, marvelous hospital. Exit. And we'll check in then.
Quarter mile. Navigate off-road.
This is the last little half-mile stretch into our final delivery. It's real pretty back here. Wouldn't want to try to find a place at night. Be a little messed up, but I woke up when we got here yesterday, and because we were planning on taking a reset and all, so I wasn't totally asleep.
Navigate off-road.
Turn that off. I wasn't totally asleep, but I woke up and I had this nice pretty view of the woods, and I might, maybe, possibly take the quad up. I hadn't made up my mind yet. Well, it's 1.5 miles from our delivery to the hotel we're staying at. So, halfway in between is the TA. So I'm dropping my trailer at the TA because it's empty now. But I had a heck of a time finding a parking space. Look at this. There is no parking here. I mean, what's a driver to do? There's no place to park. But anyway, I'm going to drop my trailer here, so I'll show you the routine. Sorry, I know I'm in and out of the light and everything. Sorry, it's a beautiful sunny day. So, first thing we do, disconnect our airlines. Now, these are color-coded. The red one. This is the one that supplies the air to the parking brakes. Okay, this one right here. And what it does, when you push in the yellow button, and the red button, it puts air into this line, and that releases the parking brakes. And I'll show you how those are set up once I get pulled out. Okay, this green cord right here, this is our electrical connector for all our lights. All right, I'm putting that right there. I'm gonna tuck them under this bungee. I've got a hanger over here, but see the way this is set up, that hanger is a bit of a pain in the butt to get to. All right, now this blue one right here, this one only works when this one's turned on. Okay, but what it does is when you push on the brake pedal or pull the trolley valve, it engages the brakes. Now, down here, here's our fifth wheel. This handle's a pain. You gotta lift, pull forward, pull out, and then it'll lock forward, like that. I really need to get my gloves. I hate getting dirty hands. Sorry, I know, I'm wiggling around. This isn't really that good to do. I need to get a chesty or something like that. Here, angle you away from the sun. Final thing, crank handle. Now, you got a hole in the handle. I don't know if you can see it, but that little post goes into there. That's why this handle flops, but like that, it's solid. Okay. Now, there's a trick. All right. You see a lot of people cranking like this. So, let me put it in high range here. Push it all the way in, it goes into high range. You see people cranking like this. All right. There's no resistance on the thing. Okay? There's a faster way of doing it. Take your finger. And you can just crank it real quick like this. Right? Goes super quick. And it's easy to do. Now, when you have pressure on the gear, that's a different story. Now, when I drop my trailer, right, what I do is I run the pads to the ground, like they are right now, and bring it back just a hair. Then hang them up. Why do I do that? Well, it's real simple. Because when I want to hook back up to it, I want the truck to completely pick the trailer off the ground. But I don't want it so low, excuse me, I don't want it so low that I can't get under it. So, push the yellow button. That releases the tractor parking brake. And there we go, we're separated out. Okay. Pull up. I'm going to set the tractor parking brake again. And then I'm going to show you the different brake chambers on trucks. You have two different kinds. One of them is a parking brake chamber and one of them is a regular brake chamber. So I'm going to show you the difference in them. And then after I get back in, I'm going to explain the difference. So I'm going to stop this and then I'm going to restart it. So gives me an editing point. All right, be right back out. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the kingpin and the fifth wheel and how those work. Okay, the only thing keeping this trailer connected to my tractor, this trailer right here, connected to my truck, is that little pin right there. That will hold 60,000 pounds plus. Okay, my truck weighs 17,000. Just by itself, we're allowed to go 80. That gives me 63,000 pounds of towed weight if I'm at max weight, and that's the only thing holding it. All right, and that goes up into here. Now, that's all greasy. It's supposed to be greasy. Because if you get resistance when you turn, it can cause issues, wet roads, snowy roads, stuff like that. It can actually cause you to jackknife when you're going around a turn. But that pin slides up this little notch, and these claws right here close around it. And then the trailer sits on this section right here. And here's my weird handle that I showed you. That will slam in when everything hooks up. Now for the brake chambers. I hope we can get a decent view. Oh, by the way, that right there is a lock that I put on the kingpin so nobody steals my trailer. Alright, we got a parking chamber on the rear axle, and we got a parking chamber on the front axle. So I can only show you a parking chamber right now without popping the hood. Okay, let me come around here where we might can get a better view. Alright, this is a brake chamber. That is what makes the brakes work. On the left or rearward end, you see a rod. That rod goes to a shaft, which goes to a cam that pushes the brake shoes apart and activates the brakes. Now this chamber, if you notice, it has three sections: a top cap, a bottom cap, and a middle section. That middle section has a spring in it, and I'll explain how all that works. And that's how you can tell it's a parking brake chamber. A non-parking brake chamber only has one air hose going in and does not have that middle section. So I'm going to put my padlock on my trailer, and then I'm going to get back in the truck and explain exactly how they work. Alright, new rule. Do not have the hat on, oops, when you are messing with the kingpin lock. I just barely tapped, and I got a little bit of dirt up on top of here. I hate that. Don't like dirty hats. Okay, on the brake chambers, you have three sections, top and bottom section and middle section. The middle section has a spring in it, okay? And what happens is, when there is no air pushing into it, that spring activates the brake. It pushes a plunger out, okay? And pushing that plunger out rotates a shaft, rotates the S-cam. S-cam's basically like this, and the brake shoe is like right here. Try to turn around this way. Here. S-cam's like this. There's another piece in the other direction on the bottom. And your brake shoe pin is on top of here, and the cam rolls back and it pushes the brake up. So with no air going into it at all, the spring pushes a rod, rotates a shaft, rotates the S-cam, locks the brakes in. So when you apply air, there's a diaphragm over the spring. When you apply air to it, it pushes it compresses the spring and releases the brakes. All that air comes from the red hose, okay? Then when you push on the brake pedal, it pushes air through the blue hose, and that pushes against another diaphragm, which pushes the rod, overpowering the air that's already in there. It uses the spring to help overpower the air in the other section of the chamber. So you've got a 100-pound spring, and then you have 110 pounds of air pressure that's compressing the spring, and you take that 100 pounds of spring compression combined with the depend on how hard you push on the brake, the amount of air that you push back into the brake chamber with the spring, it overpowers the air that's keeping the brakes off, and it activates the brakes. Now, a non-parking brake chamber has one air hose going into it, and it has a smaller weak spring. It does not have the center chamber. Okay, the center chamber is all for the parking thing. It has a smaller weak spring that deactivates the brakes. And then the air pressure, when you push on the pedal, pumps air in. The air pressure overrides the spring, and activates the brakes. All right, look at this. RV and bus parking only. A Mercury Mountaineer, Chevy, whatever the heck that is.
Astrovan.
Yeah. None of these vehicles are RVs or buses. I'm bobtail right now. That's where I'm supposed to park. Instead, I'm having to park sideways here. Oop, don't look at the dashboard. Look out. I'm having to park sideways here and take up a whole bunch of parking spaces because these people are being jerks.